Welcome back to Six Cars, ladies and gentlemen. We have officially left Europe and the scenes of Lake Como for Stamford, Connecticut. It's not the same, but we are going to have some cool cars here. Let me explain. So yes, that is right. We spent about a week or so in Europe. We got some ridiculous events. We did Monaco Grand Prix car spotting. We had Villa d'Est at Lake Como. And we went to Stuttgart and hit up every museum and collection we possibly could in the span of about 24 hours. It was a whirlwind. However, we are not stopping there. We have gone from Europe straight back to the car action. This time we, like I said, are in Stamford, Connecticut at the moment, but we are going to be heading to Greenwich in just a moment here because it is Greenwich Concours weekend. Now, before we get to the concourse, we are going to be hitting up Miller Motorcars for their Legends event. And when they say Legends, they are not joking. The cars we're going to see in this video are out of this world. Hypercars, as far as I can see, they basically open up every single one of their dealers and be showing off the best cars that Connecticut has to offer. And if you guys are familiar with Greenwich, the car scene here is insane. So Bugattis, Paganis, you name it, it's going to be here. So if you haven't already, after all the Europe mayhem, make sure you subscribe right now. Let's turn the camera around and head to Miller Motorcars. Well, listen, we start off with a classic dealer here at Miller Motorcars. So it's a good little spread. And they're outside. I do have to show off the JDM for my fellow JDM lovers there, the Pajero Evolution. So cool. Basically a road legal Dakar racer. That's awesome to see that inside. I know we've seen quite a few Lancias in recent times being in Europe. We saw Deltas and 037s, but it's still good to see another one, especially over here in North America. And you can see the interior as well on this Delta. You want to show it off. It's obviously got the nice classic martini stripes on it and that iconic wing that hangs off of the back. But inside, this really nice, like almost like turquoisey or seafoam color on the seats. Looks really good. There is an E30 Sport Evo M3 there too, an orange 993 Turbo as well. On the second level of this place, we do have two Singers as well. These are the classic studies, not the wide-body DLSs, but these are the OGs, so really nice. And you can see the marking on here. It says have a very new engine in it. It is the 4.0, and you can see the color on this car as well. Almost like what I call like a flamingo pink or like coral. It's really nice, and with the lighting here from outside, it does look quite good. Hopefully the camera is doing it justice, but I just love all the little accents you can find on Singers. Just the caging here over the back, just finishing this like bronzish gold, and you can sort of see inside. It's a very like classy retro modding look as well. The great color on that one is the second gray one over there too. We will head over to our next stop and walking up into Ferrari, see what kind of offerings we have here. It looks like there's quite a good spread as well. You can already see the rear ends of some pretty special cars over there. We've got a nice yellow 512 TR to start us off though. That looks fantastic in that color, by the way. Don't really see them too often. I think usually in red as well, and sometimes black in Toronto. I know we have a few in black, but I don't think we actually have any of these in yellow back home, so nice to see that. We do have the F50 and the F40 over here as well. Obviously needs no introduction for either of these cars. Quite iconic. We've seen a few of them recently on the channel, especially in Europe, but these are obviously finished in their nice classic specs in the red. But man, good to see them again beside each other. And but here we have an F512M as well. I just wanted to point out this nice 355 as well, because the spec is immaculate. This dark green, almost, I want to say it looks like a British racing green, might be a tiny bit lighter. Looks fantastic. It's got a nice cream interior as well. I mean, the shape of the 355 has always been one of my personal favorites too. I think it's aged quite gracefully, and I think the values for these are still pretty decent. They are holding well, but they're not crazy priced. So I think these are pretty good buys. Incredibly fun to drive, but obviously, if you guys don't know, the service can be a bit of a pain because you do require a full drop-down engine service on these quite frequently. I think at least once a year, depending on how much you drive it. But if you take out the mechanical aspects of it, these are fantastic cars, and this is a lovely spec. And now from Ferrari, we head over to McLaren. So nice little spread of some of the newer cars outside, but there is an older one inside that we want to see in particular that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. But we are greeted, like I said, with some nice cars outside. Of course, the new 720s and 750s. We have a nice little 765 LT here as well, which this spec does look really good, I must say. It's a bit understated, but I think it suits the car very well. Got a nice 675 LT over there as well, with some interesting green brakes. Don't know if I've seen that color brake calipers on a 675 before. That is also quite nice. Like I said, the real prize is in there, and that's why all the crowd's over there. So let's go check it out. And there we go, guys. The real prize here, and definitely the most expensive car we will see out of all of the dealerships here today in Greenwich. But we do have the McLaren F1. Now, this is a brand new car that just arrived for the North American audience. This just literally arrived, and it's finished in this beautiful white. I don't think we've seen a white F1 on the channel before, so this is a first for us. But I mean, just absolutely iconic, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this is the greatest car of all time. I know that's something that's always up for debate, but I think this is undisputed. Look at the center seat position there. I do love how the center seat on this one, the driver's position, of course, is finished in blue while the rest is black. So it's got a nice little two-tone mixture of colors inside the car, but outside you just have that brilliant white. I mean, I can ramble about this for so long. There are so many reasons why this is the best car of all time, and a fun fact, it is still the fastest naturally aspirated car of all time. That is a record that has not been broken, and likely will not be broken for a long time, as we're seeing a lot more hybrids and forced induction with turbos and superchargers these days. I think that record's going to stand for a long time, but there are so many cool angles you can find on this car. Again, I've pointed out many times to you guys, one of my favorite features in any car is a roof intake, and that is a pretty big staple for the McLaren F1 as well. But just take a look at the back to the silhouette of this car is very special and so iconic, of course, with its racing history as well, winning his first try at Le Mans with the GTR. There's just so many cool aspects and so many historical facts with the McLaren F1. So it doesn't matter how many times you see one, and that's not very often because they are incredibly rare and very expensive. But each time we get to see a McLaren F1 on this channel, it's quite the event, guys. This is so special. Well, here we go, guys. And now we're really into with the bread and butter of the hypercars. We've got a Wyra outside, which normally would be very cool, and most car events you go to would easily be the most expensive and best thing you would find. However, this is not like other car events because we do have a Zonda inside. So here we go, one of the earliest iterations of the Zonda, probably one of the best too, because it's been unmodified. A lot of the cars are going back to the factory and getting the 760 treatment, but this one is untouched. We do have a Zonda C12S Roadster, and this dark red looks fantastic. One of the fun things I do like about these original old Zondas too is just how high up the side mirrors are on the car, just right off of the windowsill, which is pretty funny to look at. But my goodness, such an iconic car. There's a reason why this event is called the Miller Motorcars Legends, because we have legends like a Pagani Zonda here. So take a look at the back too, because there is just so many good angles we can find on a Zonda. It doesn't matter which one you see, but personally I do like and kind of prefer these days seeing these original Zondas that are unmodified, seeing how Horatio created these back in the day before they get sent back to the factory for that whole 760 upgrade treatment. It's so cool to see these timeless looking Zondas just in their original guise. And I mean, my goodness, I mentioned from the front too just how sharp this red looks, but from the back I think it looks even better. And again, one of my favorite parts of these old Zondas is the double wing, how it's just split in half. Such an iconic and unique look. There was no other really supercar back in the day that was making this style of wing. And obviously you have the quad exhaust too, is very famous with Pagani's design styling. So yeah, just such a cool car to see. And the best part, not the only Zonda here. Let's take a look at the second one. Yeah, so I mentioned how the original Zonda we saw back there, one of the originals, the C12S, was quite raw and unmodified. This one clearly is much different, far more aggressive. We are looking at the Zonda Apex, and obviously this is an open top roadster. We can clearly see how much more aggressive the Zonda's got throughout the years. This one obviously has a ton more air on it. You can see these carbon fiber canards. You can also see these wide body over fenders as well, but the blue contrasting against the exposed carbon fiber looks fantastic, especially with all of the headlight casings finished in that carbon fiber as well. And one of my favorite details, I've pointed out many times on the channel, I'll probably say it again at some point in this video, but seeing the roof snorkel over any car is pretty damn cool. One of my favorite features on any car, but especially on these Zondas with the Roadster, because you can take the roof off and that roof snorkel stays on fully intact and just hangs over your head. You can only imagine like the induction noise that you get from that. Sounds absolutely remarkable while you are driving. But inside, just such a good looking interior as well. What I really enjoy about this one, obviously it's quite analog with all the switches and the dials like any other Zonda, but you can see the wood grain accents. You've got it on the steering wheel with the two-tone against the blue. We've also got the wood grain around the handbrake as well. So nice little details like that, and each Zonda is so personalized these days that each one is so unique from another one. You're never going to find one Zonda that looks exactly like another. They've always got these cool little details. I was pointing out on that C12S as well, one of my favorite features was that split wing that you would see on the OG C12s, and here's one that's obviously far more aggressive with a very more track focused wing. Got the shark fin at the back as well. I do like how everything just connects to one another. So the shark fin goes all the way from the wing right to that roof snorkel intake, and there's a far more aggressive looking back end than the C12. That massive carbon fiber rear diffuser, and even little bits of aero just over the rear taillights here as well. It's far different, even though they both are considered Zondas. This one is way more different than the original C12s. Now, if you guys thought the Pagani spread was good at this event, well, I mean, just take a look at the start of the showing from Bugatti here. This is the Bugatti Bolide. We are looking at a track-only hypercar, and by far one of the most aggressive looking cars ever built. It's not even a debate. It's not even a question. Wow, that guy's getting every angle. Oh my goodness. But this is just mind-blowing. It's hard to put into words. We're getting a second hot lap from the guy with the camera here. I can't wait to see what footage he comes up with, actually. But, oh my, wow, he's fired up. Back to the Bolide. This is just ridiculous. It's almost hard to put into words. There is so much downforce on this car, so much aero, and because of course it is only a track day special, they can go absolutely crazy. There's no restrictions or regulations they have to follow. They can go crazy with design, crazy with performance, and this is by far the wildest looking Bugatti and one of the craziest looking cars ever built on planet Earth. I mean, this back angle, without the front look crazy, but my goodness, the back is absolutely ridiculous. You have this entire X-wing body style at the back here, the wild exhaust. But yes, the back of it, as you can see, this huge diffuser just bringing so much air and so much downforce into the car. This exhaust design, like I said, with the X-wing style rear bumper is so freaking cool, and all the components exposed behind all the carbon fiber, it's just so special. I'll take another look from the side here too. Shouts out to the spec as well, just all black. This makes the car look so much more sinister. Really gives it that spaceship kind of vibes as well. It's full race slicks obviously on the Michelins. There's huge Brembo brakes. Got the little shark fin stretching all the way to that rear wing as well, and shouts out another 6 cars point for that roof snorkel as well. You can kind of see the bucket seats too. They are probably the most aggressive bucket seats I've ever seen in any car. You can see just how far the side, I guess, supports, you could call it, for your head, and just how big they are and how far they stretch out and how close they are to the window. Those bucket seats are massive. It's hard to say what my favorite part of this car is, but you can't go wrong, guys. Every single angle is just ridiculous. There's a reason we have guys running hot laps around the car with cameras. It's because this is so special, and we have no idea when we're going to see another one of these again. I know we saw them back at Car Week, but this in all black with the silver wheels, man, this one might actually be better. Next car on the Bugatti side of things is the open top Mistral, only open top. I don't believe, Roy, does this come with a roof?
It does not.
There we go. So no roof. So it's like I pointed out at the start of this video, a bit rainy today. This would not be the ideal day to take this out, and that is why it is parked inside, not outside with the Bolide. But this is such a cool spec, guys. We saw the unveiling of this car back in Monterey Car Week a few years ago, basically when 6 Cars initially started. This is one of the first unveilings we actually took part in, so I know it's a pretty special car for us, and the white on the red and black interior is also quite lovely. You can't get around to the back obviously, but you can see from the front it does have that classic Bugatti styling, and they actually made the horseshoe grille a bit bigger on this one too, which I actually do kind of like, and I think it suits the car. But the headlight design, everything looks so nice, and even just the intakes right behind the driver and the passenger's heads, cool little details like that make the car very special. Obviously it sold out instantly. It's worth millions and millions of dollars, and like I said, like the Bolide, who knows when you're going to see one of these again, guys. So you got to sort of take it in and just enjoy the moment. But this is just such a beautiful car. And the next car on the Bugatti side of things here is, of course, the Tourbillon. We did see this for the first time. Again, another car week car for us. But I think it was a bit hard with all the crowds at the Quail to get a good look at it. So this time we can get a slightly better look, especially at this front end too. So we've already pointed the Mistral how they really expanded the classic Bugatti horseshoe grille on the newer cars, and it's no different for the Tourbillon. This is, of course, the successor to the Chiron, though the new mainstream hypercar, or mainline hypercar rather, from Bugatti. Now, one of the cool things I do like about this is, of course, the center wiper blade. It has a very like race car style effect to it. So Bugatti is kind of known as like the grand touring hypercar, as opposed to like something more aggressive like a Koenigsegg, but it does still have some cool race car style elements to it. But just all of the lines through the car here, just everything is so aerodynamic. It's really interesting how the headlights just seem to sort of be floating above these carbon fiber accents, and again how the lines just flow right through the hood. Everything obviously serves a purpose when you are talking about a hypercar that is as fast as the Tourbillon. And what's cool about this is, of course, this is the first time in quite a long time that Bugatti does not have a W16. This one is a V16, so a new engine for them, but the fact that it's still 16 cylinders in 2025, that is really damn cool. And I think, I don't know guys, it's a tough call. I think I might actually like the design of this better than the Chiron. And there is a look at the back as well. Interesting, they sort of have an element from the Bolide back here where the rear tires are exposed. Again, sort of a race car style design with that, but it's very cool how they incorporate those hardcore elements with a more grand touring body styled hypercar. But again, you can just see how well everything flows together. It's a piece of art, but everything obviously, like I mentioned, is fully functional, very aerodynamic, and the rear diffuser is just massive. It's so big. You can clearly see where they took some design elements again from the Bolide, and it's interesting just how subtly they hid the exhaust in the rear bumper design as well. But we didn't get to look at the back of the Mistral. Of course, we did see that one a few years ago when it got unveiled initially at the Quail, but you can see the rear taillights also quite similar to the Mistral design. And the other interesting thing is these little lights that go all up the center here just above the engine bay as well. Just a cool place to hide that third light. And that's not the end of the Bugattis either, because we have not one but two EB110s. So we have the standard one here, which I think looks great in gray. It's a very like low-key hypercar, I would say, kind of almost like blends in a little bit when you see some of the newer crazy stuff like the Mistral and the Tourbillon. But this is such an iconic design. We do have the yellow one over here. Now obviously you can tell a bit different with the standard EB110, and this one is a Super Sport, so the different wheels. And you can also see at the rear here behind the driver's side window, it does have these intakes as opposed to just having the standard window. So a bit different, obviously. It's a bit faster as well. This one does, of course, have that rear wing too, but not just one, but two EB110s together, also very special. So 5 in total Bugattis here. I think there actually is a Chiron Super Sport sitting inside the window here, but there is 5 exposed that we can see at the moment. They're all so special in their own right. The EB110 is obviously one of those iconic 90s hypercars that is increasing in value all the time, and this is actually the third one we've seen in the last week or so, because we obviously did see the yellow one back in Monaco as well, which was the ex-Michael Schumacher car, and now we have the Super Sport version as well. And next door to Bugatti is a very special hypercar, and this one actually does have a special place in my heart, because if you guys were around for the very start of the early days of 6 Cars and we went to Car Week back in 2022, this was the video, or the car that was in the thumbnail of the video, that really put the channel on the map and got a bunch of views. So we do have a lot to thank for the Day Tomaso P72, and there's a reason why that video got so many views, because my goodness, just look at this. You want to talk about rolling pieces of art. We did see that already with the Paganis, and I would say almost Day Tomaso is sort of like the new version of Pagani. And we'll remind ourselves of the rear design as well. So outside, it looks like not much else has changed, but every component on this car from what we saw back in 2022 with the concept is actually completely brand new. But what I do appreciate is that they've kept the same essence with the overall design and styling of the car. You still have the artistic lines and all of the aerodynamics just flowing so well together. This rear taillight design is absolutely beautiful as well. You still have the massive exhaust sticking out of the back. Now the big change here, we did have a V12 back in the prototype at Car Week 2022. This one is now finished in a V8. It's a completely unique engine though. I believe it is also supercharged too. And my goodness, even down to the rear grille here, just these tiny little designs all etched through that rear grille. And then one of the cool things I did point out way back 3 years ago when we started this channel is I love how you can just see all of the components through that rear mesh grille as well. You can see all the exhaust connecting right towards the engine. Just an absolutely lovely car. And as you can see, we have opened the door now. We're going to take a look at the inside as well. Okay guys, so we will take a look at the interior as well. I would say from when we saw this car back in 2022, the concept version, this is what has changed the most, is the interior. So we do have this entire new settings display, or I guess all the buttons that you would find sort of kind of like what you would find in the McLaren Senna. So a lot of your operations are happening just on the roof there, which is a really cool addition. But what's interesting here is that all of these rose gold accents that you see in the interior are just like the exterior. It's all rolled aluminum. So I can't even imagine how long it would take to do all of that. You can even sort of see it right there through the steering wheel, on the shifter as well, all finished in that rolled aluminum with the rose gold color. But my goodness, the seats are absolutely beautiful. Everything from the exterior into the interior is just a rolling piece of art on this car. You can see the carbon fiber backings, and it's quite interesting how the seats are almost looking like they're built completely into the car. It's quite interesting. But my goodness, guys, I said this is sort of like the new or modern second coming of Pagani, I would say, and this is why, because every little detail on this car is art. I know I have said that a few times now, but I need to keep reiterating it because this is such a special car. Even here, just on the air vents or around the air vents, these rose gold finishes, also rolled aluminum, the door handle as well. My goodness, guys, so many cool little details on the Tomaso P72. And we head over to Aston Martin now to finish off our little tour here in Greenwich. We have the brand new Valhalla. So I don't even think we've actually seen this car on the channel yet, so this is pretty damn special. We've seen Valkyries, but this is sort of the Valkyrie's baby brother. It has a twin turbo V8 with electric motors, 1,000+ horsepower. It's a bit tight in here, so I'm doing my best to get everything in the frame here. Wow, it's a loud GTPRS just went by, but my goodness, this is an absolutely beautiful car. You can see it is a good mix of the exposed carbon fiber with that Aston Martin racing green, and there's such a massive roof intake on there. We love to see that. The exhaust poking out from the top here though is very similar to like a 600 LT. Actually, it's incredibly good looking. Inside, obviously, it's a very race car-esque interior, tons of forged carbon fiber in there. And we also have a sort of like, actually it's a bit bigger than the AMG Project One. I was gonna say it's a bit similar. Either way though, they both have race car DNA, but this is incredibly light, and I think they're only making about 1,000 of these, so it's an incredibly rare car. They will have customer cars being delivered very soon, and unfortunately, while the Valkyrie is not street legal in North America, the Valhalla is. So hopefully we will be seeing customer cars of these driving around very soon. But my goodness, the front looks incredible obviously, but the back is really nice. It obviously has this active aero as well. The rear wing extends pretty high actually. If you see videos and pictures of it online, obviously it's not up right now, but online you can see just how big that wing actually is. Tons of downforce there, but so many little details on this car too. Obviously everything fully functional. You can see just the slits in the aero on the side blades there. So many little places to get that extra downforce and extra airflow through the car. Obviously not as extreme as the Valkyrie with the cuts behind the rear tires, but you can see it does have that same kind of styling and effect as well. And I mean, my goodness, that interior is just stunning. We also have a Lance Stroll Aston Martin Formula One car here, not 100% certain on the year. I would say 2024, but you can obviously see a similar green as they're actually opening the door on the Valhalla there and exposing some of the hybrid components in the back there too. But very similar. I think it actually is the exact same color as the Formula One race car. So cool to see that as well. And then there is a special classic Aston Martin 2, the Vantage V600. I think there's, yeah, one of 40 actually. I do see it on the sign there. But what's cool about this car is it's actually twin supercharged. That is something you don't really ever hear in the same sentence, is twin and supercharged. But this was incredibly fast. It was the late 90s, early 2000s that these were produced at 200 mile an hour top speed. And this one does have a bit of a lighter green compared to the one seen in the Formula One car and the Valhalla, but it's quite an interesting design. Obviously it's called a Vantage, but it looks way, way different from the standard Aston Martin Vantage. The V600 is very much its own unique beast, but it's so cool how they just have little intakes sort of built into the grille here. It's almost like a British muscle car, very similar actually to what you would see nowadays on the Valour and the Valiant, which fittingly are outside, and we will look at that in just a second. But just another quick look at the interior here. You can see how different Aston Martins have changed over the years. The Valhalla, obviously, with that race car interior. This one is a bit classier, more that James Bond styling, but so nice. And Aston Martin, I gotta say, is doing a great job with their designs right now. Here we have the Aston Martin Valour, and funny enough, I think we actually saw this exact same car back at Motor Miami, the Cars and Coffee event on the Sunday. You can see it is finished in that full exposed matte carbon fiber with that honeycomb style wheel. Looks absolutely beautiful. It's a manual V12. Now you guys can see what I was sort of talking about with the V600 inside, how this definitely shares some design elements or some inspiration from that car. You can clearly see it is sort of a modern Aston Martin muscle car, but a manual V12 in 2025 is super special, and it's just such a cool look from the front as well. So sinister looking. We do have its other counterpart over there, the Valiant, which we'll look at now. And here's the Valiant now. So kind of similar looking from far to the Valour, but this one actually has a lot more aero on it. It's far more aggressive. You can see the front end is completely redesigned. You can see all these little gills and louvers on the front splitter finished in full carbon fiber. Now down the side here as well, you can see it's a lot more airflow towards the back. It's a lot more cut up around the rear tire as well. And this was sort of similar to what we saw on the Valhalla inside, with those gills just pushing more and more airflow. And then back here is obviously the biggest difference, I would say, is that big chunky rear wing producing a lot more downforce than obviously you would see on the Valour, which has no wing at all. But this is a pretty unique design, how it just wraps around the whole rear bumper of the car. I do quite like it. I think it actually suits it pretty well. We actually have not seen a Valiant on the channel yet before this, but now that we are getting a closer look at it, I do quite like that wing, and I think it goes well. But do you like the understated Valour or the more aggressive Valiant better? You guys can let me know that down in the comments. So there we go, guys. It looks like we are starting to pack up here now for the day at Miller Motorcars. What an incredible display. And now looks like we will get to see some of these cars starting up and moving back into their respective showrooms as well. We saw the yellow E110 Super Sport roll in, and now we have the other one as well, the silver one.